Imagine this. You just landed in America. You have money in your pocket, you have your passport, you have your visa, everything is ready. But within the first 24 hours, you make 3 simple mistakes that nobody warned you about. And those 3 mistakes follow you for the next 5 years. No apartment, no credit card, no financial life in America. This is the reality for thousands of immigrants every single year. And today, I am going to make sure it does not happen to you. My name is your name. And on this channel, I break down American finance in simple language. For immigrants, for students, for newcomers, for people who were never taught how money works in this country. So if you are new here, please subscribe right now because what I am going to share in the next few minutes could literally save you thousands of dollars. Let's start from the very beginning. You just landed. You are at the airport. What do you do first? The very first thing you need is cash, real US dollars. Because here's what most people do not tell you. Your international debit card or credit card will work at most US ATMs. Yes, even on day one. But here is the catch. Airport ATMs charge you fees, usually $3 to $5 per withdrawal, sometimes more. And on top of that, your home bank will also charge you a foreign transaction fee. So every time you pull out cash, you are losing money on both sides. So what should you do? Use the airport ATM just for emergency cash. Pull out $100 or $200 maximum. Keep some small bills, 1s, 5s, 10s, because in America, tipping is everywhere. Restaurants, taxis, hotels. If you only have big bills, you will struggle on day one. Now, if you already have a Wise card or a Revolut card, those are international money apps. Bring them with you. They give you much better exchange rates with very low fees compared to regular bank ATMs. But here's the step that almost nobody talks about, and it is the most important one in the first few hours. Before you go to a bank, before you do anything financial, get a US SIM card first. I know that sounds strange. Why does a SIM card matter for banking? Here is why. Every bank in America, when you open an account, will send you a text message to verify who you are. It is called an OTP, a one-time password. If you do not have a US phone number, you cannot receive that text. And if you cannot receive that text, you cannot open the account. Simple as that. T-Mobile, AT&T, and Metro by T-Mobile all sell prepaid SIM cards right at the airport. Cost is usually $15 to $30 for a monthly plan. Get it. Do it before anything else. Okay, now you have emergency cash. You have a US number. Now let's talk about opening your bank account, because this is where most immigrants make the biggest mistakes. Let me ask you something first. Have you ever heard someone say, you cannot open a bank account without a social security number? Almost every immigrant hears this, and almost every immigrant believes it. It is completely false. This is one of the biggest myths in immigrant finance. The truth is, by US federal law, specifically the USA Patriot Act, every bank must verify only 3 things about you: your name, your date of birth, and your address. That is it. They do not require you to be a US citizen. They do not require a social security number. Now yes, many banks prefer an SSN, but many major banks also accept an ITIN, that is an individual taxpayer identification number issued by the IRS. And some banks will even accept a foreign tax identification number, or simply let you fill out a form called the W-8BEN, which just confirms you are not a US taxpayer. Banks like Bank of America, Wells Fargo, PNC Bank, these are big, well-known banks. They all allow non-citizens to open accounts without an SSN. Bank of America and Wells Fargo also accept ITINs. And some community-focused credit unions, like Self-Help Federal Credit Union and Latino Credit Union, go even further. Latino Credit Union accepts a government-issued ID from literally any country in the world. Here's what you need to bring when you go to the bank. Your foreign passport. This is your primary ID everywhere. Your visa or immigration documents. Any proof of a US address. And some cash for the opening deposit, which is usually between $25 and $100, though some banks require nothing at all. Now, proof of US address. What if you just arrived and you are staying at a hotel or Airbnb? Here is what you do. Just use that address. The hotel address, the Airbnb address, even a friend's address if they agree. Walk into the branch, explain to the banker that you just arrived, and in many cases they will work with you. The key word here is branch. Walk in. Talk to a real person. And this brings me to one of the most important pieces of advice in this entire video. Do not try to open your first US bank account online if you are an immigrant. Banks' online systems are often set up for people with SSNs and existing US records. If you try to open an account online with a foreign passport and no SSN, the system will often automatically reject you, even at banks that should accept you. But when you walk into a physical branch and speak to a real banker, that banker has the power to manually approve your account. The system says no. The human says yes. This is a huge difference that most people never realize. So which bank should you go to on day one? Let me give you the real breakdown. If you want the fastest possible option, something you can do on your phone today, download Chime or Capital One 360. These are online banking apps. Chime has 0 monthly fees, 0 minimum balance requirements, and they do not run the kind of background check that most traditional banks run. You can apply with just your passport and a U.S. address. Approval often takes 10 to 15 minutes. You get a debit card in the mail within a few days. This is genuinely one of the best options for immigrants on day one. If you prefer a traditional bank with physical branches, and I personally recommend this because of what I just told you about human approval, go to Bank of America, Chase, or Wells Fargo. Bring your passport, your visa, any address, and around $50 cash. Processing takes about 30 to 60 minutes. You may get a temporary debit card the same day, and your permanent card arrives in about 7 to 10 days. And if you have absolutely no U.S. documents at all, no address, no ITIN, nothing, there is still an option. Apps like Wise and Revolut allow you to open a multi-currency account with just your passport, and they do not require an SSN. You can send and receive money internationally with much lower fees than regular banks. The one thing to know here is that these apps are not FDIC insured, which means if something goes wrong with the company, your money is not protected by the U.S. government the same way it would be in a traditional bank. So use these as a temporary solution, not a permanent one. Now let me talk about something that almost nobody explains to immigrants, and it could ruin your financial life for years if you do not know about it. It is called ChexSystems, and it is basically a blacklist for bank accounts. Here is how it works. There is a company, a private company, called ChexSystems. Banks report customers to this company whenever someone bounces a check, gets hit with overdraft fees and does not pay them, or has their account forcibly closed. And here's the shocking part. More than 80% of U.S. banks and credit unions check this database before they open an account for you. If you are on that list, they reject you. No explanation, just rejection. And those records stay on your report for up to 5 years. Now, why does this matter for a brand new immigrant? Because of overdraft fees. Let me explain what an overdraft is. In America, if you spend more money than you have in your account, even by just $1, the bank may cover that transaction, and then charge you between $25 and $35 for doing so. That fee is called an overdraft fee. Imagine you are new here, you do not fully understand the system, you use your debit card for a small purchase and you are $5 short in your account. The bank pays for it. Then they charge you $35 in fees. You do not know about it. You do not pay it. Your account goes negative. And suddenly you are reported to ChexSystems. And now for the next 5 years, 80% of banks in America will reject your application without telling you why. This is one of the most dangerous traps for new immigrants, and almost nobody warns them about it. So how do you protect yourself? Simple. When you open your account, immediately go to your bank settings and turn off overdraft protection. Tell the banker, I do not want overdraft coverage. This means if you ever try to spend more than you have, the transaction will simply be declined. That is it. No fee, no ChexSystems report, just a declined card, which is a much better outcome. Also, always use in-network ATMs. Your bank has specific ATMs that are free. Using any other ATM, especially random ones at gas stations or convenience stores, can cost you $3 to $5 every single time. Download your bank's app and use the ATM locator to always find a free one. And one more hidden fee that destroys immigrants: international wire transfers. If you want to send money back home through a traditional bank, they will charge you $25 to $45 per transfer. Instead, use Wise or Remitly or similar services. The fees are a fraction of what banks charge, and the exchange rates are much better. Now let us talk about something that matters just as much as your bank account, maybe more: your credit score. In America, your credit score is not just a number, it is your financial identity. It determines whether you can rent an apartment, buy a car, get a phone plan, take out a loan, even sometimes whether you get a job. And as a new immigrant, you start with absolutely nothing. Not a bad score, not a low score, no score at all. You are what the system calls credit invisible. You are financially invisible to America. And here is the hard truth that nobody wants to tell you. Even if you had a perfect credit score in your home country, even if you have years of financial history back home, that record does not exist in America. It does not transfer. The U.S. credit system only counts what happens here, in the United States. So let me explain how the credit score actually works, because once you understand the formula, you can start building it intelligently. Your credit score ranges from 300 to 850. Think of it like a grade. 300 is the worst. 850 is perfect. A score above 700 is considered good. Above 740 is very good. And above 800 puts you in the top tier. Now, 90% of top lenders in America use something called the FICO score. And this score is calculated based on 5 factors. The biggest one, 35% of your score, is your payment history. Did you pay your bills on time? Even one missed payment can drop your score significantly. This single factor alone can make or break your credit. The second biggest factor, 30%, is your credit utilization. This means how much of your available credit you are actually using. Here is the golden rule. Never use more than 30% of your credit limit. If your credit card limit is $500, never carry a balance above $150. Ever. The third factor is the length of your credit history. The older your accounts, the better. This is why you should open your first credit account as soon as possible, even if you do not use it much, because the clock starts ticking from the day you open it. The fourth factor is your credit mix, having different types of accounts, like a credit card and a loan. And the fifth factor is new credit inquiries, meaning every time you apply for a credit card or loan, it leaves a mark on your file. Applying for too many things at once will actually hurt your score, so be strategic and patient. Now, how do you start from zero? The best and fastest move is to get a secured credit card. Here is how it works. You give the bank a cash deposit, usually between $200 and $500. That deposit becomes your credit limit. You then use the card for small, everyday purchases, groceries, gas, a subscription, and you pay the full balance every single month. The bank reports your payments to the credit bureaus, and your score starts to build. The best secured cards for immigrants include the Discover It Secured Card, which has no annual fee and gives you 2% cash back. The Capital One Secured MasterCard requires as little as $49 to start. The Open Sky Secured Visa requires no SSN and no credit check at all. And the Citi Secured MasterCard accepts an ITIN if you do not have an SSN yet. If your friend or family member here in America already has good credit, ask them to add you as an authorized user on their credit card. You do not have to use the card. You do not even have to hold the physical card. Just being added to that account means their good credit history gets added to your report. This is one of the fastest legal ways to get a credit score quickly. Another powerful move is something called Experian Boost. It is completely free. You just download the Experian app, connect your bank account, and it adds your on-time rent payments, utility bills, phone bills, and even streaming service payments to your credit file. Things you are already paying anyway. Now they count toward your score. And if you are from India, Mexico, UK, Canada, Brazil, Nigeria, Australia, or South Korea, check out a service called Nova Credit. They have a credit passport service that translates your home country credit history into a US recognized format. Some lenders actually accept this. It is not perfect, but it is a powerful head start. Here is the realistic timeline you should expect. Open your bank account on day 1. Apply for a secured credit card in your first month. For the first 3 months, you will have no score at all. The system is just collecting data. By month 3 to 6, your first score appears, usually somewhere between 600 and 650 if you have been responsible. By the end of your first year, you could be at 650 to 700. And by year 2, with consistent habits, you can hit 720 or higher and qualify for real unsecured credit cards, car loans, and apartments without needing large deposits. Now let me show you exactly why this matters in your daily life. Without credit, when you try to rent an apartment, landlords will ask for 2 to 3 months deposit up front. With a 700 credit score, you typically only need 1 month. Without credit, a car loan, if you can get one, might come with an interest rate of 15 to 25%. With good credit, that same loan drops to 4 to 8%. Without credit, phone companies charge you a $200 to $500 deposit just to get a plan. With good credit, you qualify for regular monthly plans immediately. And insurance companies, yes, car insurance companies, actually check your credit and charge you higher premiums if you have no history. Good credit can save you 10 to 30% on insurance. The difference between no credit and good credit is not just financial. It changes your entire quality of life in America. Let me also quickly tell you about something that changed in 2025 that you need to know. In June of 2025, U.S. banking regulators, the OCC, FDIC, and NCUA, passed a new rule making it easier for banks to verify immigrants' identity using third-party sources. This means banks now have more flexibility to accept you even without traditional U.S. documentation. So if a bank rejected you before, it might be worth trying again, and specifically asking whether they have adopted this new verification approach. Also in 2025, many major banks significantly reduced or eliminated their overdraft fees. largely because of pressure from the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. And apps like Chime, Varo, and SoFi are now all partnered with FDIC-insured banks, meaning your money is federally protected up to $250,000, just like a traditional bank. So do not be afraid of online banking apps anymore. Let me give you the simplest possible action plan before I wrap up. Step 1. As soon as you land, use your international card or airport ATM for emergency cash. Keep small bills. Step 2. Get a US SIM card immediately. You need a US phone number to open any bank account. Step 3. Open an account the same day. Online, use Chime or Capital One 360. In person, go to Bank of America, Chase, or Wells Fargo. Bring your passport, any US address, and some cash. Step 4. Immediately turn off overdraft protection on your new account. This protects you from the ChexSystems trap. Step 5. Apply for a secured credit card within your first month. Start building your American credit score from day 1. Step 6. Sign up for Experian Boost for free and add all your bill payments to your credit report. Step 7. Be patient. Building credit takes 6 to 12 months minimum. Do not rush it. Do not apply for 10 cards at once. Slow and steady is how you win the American credit game. That is the complete roadmap. Bank account, debit card, and the beginning of your credit score, all within your first 24 to 30 days in America. If this video helped you, please give it a like, share it with a friend who just moved here or is planning to move, and subscribe to this channel because every week I break down real financial topics that actually matter to immigrants and students in the USA. I will see you in the next video.